Whatever. Nobody works as hard as Rusty Venture.
Welcome back to Venture Brothers Season 2, Episode 12 and 13, Showdown in Cremation Creek. This is going to be an adventure for us to go Team Venturers. I love this show. We're at the pinnacle, one of the peaking moments of the series. Like, this is one of the best episodes in the series. When I think about the top 20 or top 5 even, this is one of the best. Like, even with the 7 different finales that are in this series, with the different seasons finales, this one, I would say, probably top 5. No, definitely top 5, shit. Probably top 3. Well, yeah, I put it probably top 3. Probably 3rd. Like, 4th and 3rd seasons finales are pretty phenomenal. But let's get into this episode as we get Showdown in Cremation Creek. I love it. Starting with, I'm going to go with my book real quick. So, in the Making of Venture Bros, Jackson Public talks about how this episode had so much going on in them because they had to pick up some drop balls very quickly. I don't know that we earned getting Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend back together, where they've been secretly hanging out again. I always felt like we didn't hit that in our other scripts, and it was an intentional season arc that we just didn't have the chance to address better. Which is interesting. In Why the Caged Bird Kills, we see that they get back together due to Dr. Killinger, and just the events with 21 and 24 and all those different things that happened in that episode. But based on what they say, there was actually supposed to be like a little more information showing them that they were actually secretly dating and that there was a on-the-side hustle kind of shit going on or behind Phantom Limb's back and all that crap, and how they had been getting together and shit. Which leads us into the beginning of this episode. It shows Dr. Girlfriend being in a bed, waking up in bed with Monarch coming in, being like, breakfast in bed, I got some crap from the minibar. Why don't you just come and have a nap? Or some shit like that, she says. And Monarch accuses her of having a gift left in her oven by Phantom Limb, essentially implying that she's pregnant by Phantom Limb instead of him, or just in general. And, how it's if you're sleeping with a woman who's, has a dude, that's gonna be your ultimate fear. Like, yeah, you get to think, it's maybe my baby, and I put her in her, and he doesn't even know. But you don't get to know whether or not it's your baby either. You get to have that fear as well. So it's kind of a brutal shit. So, basically Monarch is like, we should do this more than just every 2 days. We should do it 3 times a week. Well, get right to the dirty deed. You could start without me. Dr. Girlfriend basically explodes and is like, I love you, I don't love this, I want us to get together. Screw Phantom Limb, but no, don't. Monarch basically is like, marry me, to kind of pick up the fumbled ball that's going down right now. And then Dr. Girlfriend pulls out a list and is like, Monarch's like, where'd you even pull out that list? Because she's obviously naked, like in a sheet, essentially. Personally, another thing about it, maybe she had it in the sheet. But Monarch is like, where did you have that moist list? And she goes off about how these are her 3 like fucking ground rules. No more I'm crowding you and you need my space crap. Like, okay. No more, I'm not your partner, you're your number 2. I mean, I'm not your number 2 or anything like that, I'm your partner. And he's like, alright, I'll get you a crown or whatever, make you my queen. And then he's like, no more Dr. Venture. And fucking Monarch's like, of course, we will kill them and make a coat of Brock Sampson's skin. It's fucking hardcore, actually. Dr. Girlfriend's like, no, we're gonna abandon this crap and then no more chasing them. Monarch's like, fuck that. And she's like, I knew you weren't serious, and goes to leave, and Monarch's like, alright, I pinky swear. Swear to my life that I will not go after Dr. Venture anymore. So he has made the swear. It is a brilliant way of showing that for all his obsession, for all his hatred towards Venture, towards Rusty, for whatever his reasons are, he loves Dr. Girlfriend more. He is willing to set aside what is basically the most passionate thing in his life, the thing he truly cares about the most, for her, because he cares about her more. And that is I just want to say, Monarch is a true sign of true loyalty. He went above and beyond and wants to do whatever it takes to get this girl. He is not willing to let her go. He's willing to make the sacrifices Sacrifices that I'm unsure he really needs to make as the series progresses, it shows. But truly, it shows he's willing to try. More than most anyone would ever try. And so, we go in 1 month later, showing the henchmen who are all hungover, apparently from a bachelor party. It shows a destroyed Monarch mobile and crap. And they're going like, they should kill us, basically. And fucking Brock's like, you open this cage, and I'll kill you. Fucking, what did we do? I thought we dreamt that part. Apparently they captured the Ventures. Like, what the fuck? So random. Then it goes to Phantom Limb. Well, the title shot, Showdown in Cremation Creek. Phantom Limb shot a bird and being all an intimidating, like, British pompous badass douche. Like, trying to all look all cool while shooting up a motherfucker. And it's great because Monarch's like, apparently you didn't hear me. I'm getting married to your girlfriend. And then Lim does the whole douchebag thing of like, you don't drive your manhood into a woman over and over and don't know when this is coming. Thanks, bro. I get it, bro. I know you fucked her. I don't care. Fucking just give me her shit. She needs something old. In due time. And then Lim, like, starts shooting all the old, at the beginning of the season, the characters who had, fucked with his escape. Mr. Monday, Dr. Septipus, White Noise, like, he shoots each one of them back to back, basically. And then he's like, oh, I hired an appeals attorney for them. And it shows fucking, Tiny Attorney, and he shoots him, killing Tiny Attorney. I don't know, Lim's doing a lot of shit that you would think is a little over the, outside the guild's, like, jurisdiction things. He says he got these guys out of jail through the attorney, and he coerced the attorney to do this, but then he just kills them? I don't know, man, it's just crazy. And then Monarch's like, the fuck are you doing? Just trying to intimidate me? I hate these guys as much as you do. And then Venom Lim's like, fine, whatever. Her stuff's in a box next to the front. Mark hers. Which I think is from a song, I'm not really sure. But, random. Oh, Lim. His intimidation tactic is a little scary. He, like, points the gun at Monarch, who's like, what the fuck? But, you know, he's obviously has his hand. Like, he would have killed Monarch if he was allowed to by this point, you would think. Because, like, his hands are tied. I'm assuming is why he's not. Well, we'll see. As we go, you'll see. Before I continue, I just want to say, please watch this series, Venture Brothers. AdultSwim.com, HBO Max, whatever. There are places to see it, and it is worth watching. Talk to me about it in the comments. We can discuss it further. Like the video so that we can have more people discuss it. And then subscribe for more as we'll discuss the Season 3. Now continuing on. Then we go to the Order of the Triad. They're dancing around with Torrid, their new arch-villain. He's got like an eyeball and they're trying to shoot him with lasers, and there's a part where they're like arguing about what they should do, and fucking Torrid's like bouncing the eyeball around like a bouncing ball. And then they're like, alright, we gotta use our special ability. And so they do like a whole, Orpheus does a flip onto Al and Jefferson's hands, and they do like a tri-beam attack that just defeats Torrid. And they get off, or Orpheus gets off, and he's like, oh man, we need to do more training. And fucking Al and Jefferson are like, it hurts my hand. Man, I think it's the flip part. That's the zing. We need the zing. Well, the zing hurts. And then Orpheus is like, well, you should go to my fucking abode and train, because we apparently aren't good enough. Because we keep having problems. Then it goes back to the Monarch crew, which Monarch comes in and, of course, freaks out that the adventures are captured, because I promised her. You dicks, like, seriously. And 21 and 24, of course, are like, we thought this would be a great bachelor's, gift. On your wedding day, we gave you your arch enemies. I mean, it happens with fucking mob bosses. And Monarch basically goes off about how, like, I don't know how you couldn't have done this until the last 10 years. How did you even do this? 21 goes off about, like, I had to get me some ink. I've had this tattoo for, like, a year, but I never had the balls. So I had to have some Wizard of Booze to this cowardly lion. And then they are like, we see Brock Sampson there. Murderous extraordinaire. Slayer of men. Slayer of henchmen. It's so funny, but so true. So they get the jump on Brock and then somehow capture him, even though there are some predictable casualties. And they're like, Venture's easy picking, so they go and capture Venture. And that's the story of how they captured Venture. The girlfriend walks in and is like, freaks out that they're doing this. of course, and Monarch improvises and is like, he's my best man, he agreed to be part of the wedding, and I wanted to show you that I didn't give a shit. And of course, why are they in a cage? Well, those kids don't even really understand anything, and so if they wanted to ask what was in there, and I don't think even they knew where they are, and Hank, like, wakes up and is like, where are we? See? They don't even know where they are. And as they kiss and talk about how they'll be man and wife next time, Rusty suddenly remembers who and what Dr. Girlfriend is and why he knows her. The whole Charlene episode from fucking Midlife Chrysalis. She's like, whoa, I remember. Damn it, Rusty, you're an ass. Goes to Lim, who is asking the Sovereign essentially for vengeance fucking permission. And the Sovereign straight up is like, it matters not that you were dumped. Maybe use a journal or go running or something. I got a wedding to get to. Oh, sorry, not sorry. Peace. And fucking it shows Lim with like an armada of soldiers, obviously preparing to attack. Clearly not listening to the Sovereign at this point. Clearly hoping, I guess, to get permission. Why did he even ask? Now that I think about it. Why would he even try? Like, making his intentions clear. I guess to try to get it through the regular channels. But, you know, if his intentions are what end up happening, why would he even ask? It's kind of strange. Maybe to cover himself up, give him like a little bit of... make it seem like he's not planning to do a coup d'etat, but he's fucking doing a coup d'etat. Goes back to the Monarch and the people, and he's like, thanks, you can't thank you dicks enough for doing this. Brock is like, oh, so you're finally marrying that girl? I thought you were a closet case. You know, in your dreams, Macho Man, I'm about to marry the hottest piece of ass in super villainy. So true. Shows Rusty, who sees the Moppets, who's second time we ever seen them, going with to where it's probably the bride, because he has the veil, it looks like. So Rusty sneaks off, like, all, like a fucking demon, creepy bastard, like, tiptoeing out away to go fucking try to flirt with the bride, who, I mean, luckily Dr. Girlfriend is a badass girl and Rusty's a piece of shit, but the implications are kind of dark and weird when you think about it. The next show is the henchman talking to the twins. Fucking 21 goes off about how Hank has a costume also just like him because he wears a baby blue kerchief, and how do you even buy your outfit and you wear it every day? And then Dean's going off about how like probably not chromium metals for the cocoon, and fucking 24's like, so you like being a dean? Yeah, that must suck. Brock, then it goes back to Brock rather, and he's kind of going off about what he mentioned in the beginning of the season, where he thinks that she's a dude, basically. I think she's still a dude, is what he thinks. And Monarch is like, you're just jealous, you fucking weird bastard. How can you get on me when you have a big naked guy on your shoulder? It's supposed to be Icarus from the Led Zeppelin albums. So cool when I was 14. Monarch is a savage here. He fucking is just ripping Brock a new one with this, like, and I'm like, this is Brock Samson. He doesn't give a shit though. He's just rolling in Brock's fucking bullshit and being like, you just wish you could have that. Although the implication that Brock is given from Brock is that he doesn't actually care to get with that kind of girl. He just didn't, I don't know why, but he's just not into it. Despite the fact that she is the hottest piece of ass in supervillainy. If not the whole show. Molotov's hot, but no one compares to Dr. Girlfriend. It then goes to Rusty, who has apparently found Dr. Girlfriend. Like, it's funny, he like knocks on the door and is like, it's Rusty Venture. And if I found something blue, me. And fucking, so he kicks out the Moppets, and Dr. Girlfriend's like, so you agreed to be the best man, that's really big of you. Like, it's not all that's big of me. You trying to make a sex joke? What the fuck? And it's really weird, and basically, Rusty is going off about how she's Charlene, and how like, it's great to see you again. And finally, Dr. Over remembers, basically, after a little bit, like, oh, you thinking of her? What the fuck? Then it goes to Al arriving at Orpheus's. It has some fancy beer and some chips that are guaranteed to be extreme, because they put an X on the bag. JT's setting up the apparatus, which is just a fucking yoga mat and a birthday candle. and trying to get some, stuff going. And trying to hone their magic skills is what they say. And fucking Al's like, we should just take the edge off. Like, it's only noon and I don't drink. I know. I got 5 bags of nickel nips. You say they're waxy good. Oh, you tease. Get the insulin. And then JT jumps him and apparently goes for the nickel nips, because apparently he cannot fucking stand not having them. Then it goes back to Hank with 21, and 21's like, I got a costume for you. And Hank's like, you have more toys than a girl. These are not toys, these are action figures and other stuff. And they go off about the He-Man and the Captain America stuff and all the different stuff. And they're like, how could you even play with that? 21 asks. And Hank's like, well, you could have him Quist go fight the Microdon. The Microdon, exactly. Because 21, like, basically fills in the gaps for him. Because 21 and Hank, great to be friends with each other. Perfect. And then it goes to Dean and 24. And Dean is just being that annoying kid who's like, I really would like to go see the halls are this, and this. And like, okay. How about you just go and find something to do, but don't touch anything. I'll touch with my eyes. You could escort me. No, you should be going now. God, just 24 is like, just leave, please. Dr. Girlfriend is basically talking to Rusty about how that was the whole plan. I was supposed to turn you into a thing, and then he fucking fucks with you. And then Rusty's like, but you didn't do that, because I turned the tables and made you like me. Which, he has a slight point. There is, she did become sympathetic and felt bad about the whole scenario. Mostly because of how she felt that Monarch and him were very similar people. But, in reality, Rusty apparently thinks it's because she likes it. And she even does a whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, I want to get Monarch and Dr. Venture together and do them both. Well, I'm not sharing you. You're gonna have to choose. Oh, what's a girl to do? Fucking Rusty, such a prick and not understanding what the fuck is happening and his position in this situation and the fact that he's being a really creepy bastard by being here. Fucking weirdo. Stop it, Rusty. But luckily, Dr. Girlfriend apparently just doesn't give a shit. She even was like, will you zip up my bag? You kicked my moppets out, so do that. Then it shows 21 and Hank, playing with the toys and fucking around. A beard drops off and Hank puts it on himself and is like, oh man, I look like evil Hank. It's so perfect. And Russian Guyovich, And then a alarm goes off about how, and it's from a Jonas Venture alarm. It even shows Hank kind of looking at it going like, huh. And they're like, oh, we gotta get to the wedding, let's go. Then it goes to Al telling a story about how he had sex with a guy and had got some crotch crickets and never got a call back from him. Truth or dare to you, Byron. And which is Orpheus' first name, by the way. Truth. And Al asks him if he really thought that you can get 3 people to get old men together and chase around a costume guy and take it seriously. Orpheus is like, yes, the triad has potential. Potential? JT was vomiting up artificial cherry-flavored vomit. And I'm a little buzzed in Berkeley myself, I'm just saying. Dean's at the engine room and going like, I want to go in there, but he can't. And he has a whole, like, don't touch anything, like, from 24, like, it's supposed to be echoing in his mind. But it's not. 24 is like, I'm on the PA system, not, get the hell to the wedding. But then someone comes out of the engine room, gives Dean a bunch of numbers on this paper and being like, the engine's freaking out, and keep it hush-hush, but go tell the Monarch this. Dean doesn't go tell the Monarch. He does not go do that. He instead goes inside the engine room and gets locked in there. Which I want to point out something. First, the guy who left, where does he go? Does he just fucking leave and just disappears, never comes back? Second, does he not notice that Dean went in there and didn't fucking take his papers to the Monarch? Third, no one's gonna check the engine room in the entire episode. What the hell, Dean? You got stuck in the worst place. Next, doesn't 24 know? He was on the PA. I guess he fucking left the PA. Then it goes to the wedding. Brock is the guy checking people in. And fucking Hank's freaking out about all these different people. And then, oh my god, the guy's just half a truck, and it's Truckalees. Kane Stagg, my friend. This baby carries 2 seats. And then Brock tells Hank that he's next to Sergeant Hatred in Guess, which Hank is obviously very against this. If you remember the episode of Why the Caged Bird Kills, Sergeant Hatred's apparently the one responsible for molesting them a few times. So, Hank's not very interested in sitting next to this guy. Then it goes to Sergeant Hatred, who is voiced by Brendan Small in this episode. And he's not voiced by Brendan Small later in the series, but just this episode he is. He's going off about how he can tell that the cocoon is filled with shit from his hover tank and other crap, that Monarch's clearly stolen a bunch of shit from him. And then Hank comes up there and then uses the beard to avoid detection, and he asks him if he's gonna bad touch him, and fucking Hatred's like, do we know you? And then he goes off about his wife, Princess Tiny Feet, showing off her tiny feet, and he's like, look at those little niblets. They're like cord maze. You're right, honey. Let me get him. And just starts licking the fucking toes. It's so weird. Hatred's introduction's a strange one. And then, introduction of one of my personal favorites, Bowie. You lucky I don't kill you right now after what you pulled in Berlin. Fucking Brock just talking shit to the Sovereign right there. Just like right there. And he's like, you willing to try? And Iggy Pop and who's the other guy? Klaus Nomi are his bodyguards, apparently. This villain trio is a powerful group of villains. Well, we don't know much about them except that they're villains because they are here to give away Dr. Girlfriend, apparently. That is apparently the person giving away Dr. Girlfriend to the Monarch. An interesting little bit. Brock is like, don't enter till the second verse. And Bowie's just like, I know when to go out. 21 and 24 serenade a beautiful song that you kind of can't hear. It talks about in the book how they actually wrote a whole song, and him and Doc Hammer, Jackson Public and Doc Hammer together wrote and sung this song together in this scene. But you don't really get to hear it because it's in the background at the time. But straight up, they talk about how they wrote a song, got on the acoustic guitar and everything. Really fun. Then it goes to Rusty, who is talking some shit to Monarch about how she doesn't deserve Dr. Girlfriend and shit. And Monarch's like, what, you mad at me? And Rusty, quite rightly, points out, I can't remember a day in my life where you weren't there fucking it up, dude. Why would I suddenly like you? It's not how this works. And then he's like, I want to tell her that I like her, but the point is probably moot. And Monarch, you reciting Jesse's girl right now? And it shows that Dr. Killinger's the one marrying these two today, dearly beloved today. Goes to the Triad, who are talking about their adventures. They were able to summon a creature from a trading card, which they showed Nyanoob, which is the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon and the Return of the Jedi movie. If you've seen the Return of the Jedi movie, and you remember who is helping Lando Calrissian pilot the Millennium Falcon during the finale and the big-ass Death Star battle, that's this alien. That alien. This guy. They summon him. Somehow. Al goes off about how he cares about the great unknown, but chasing around the same guy every day is literally gay. And that's coming from a man who willingly has sex with men. And fucking Orpheus is like, are we breaking up? Okay, you want me to pack up my Blackula Hunter and leave? Don't be so ding-dong serious all the time, Byron. Al is just fucking off about him. His brooch or whatever the fuck is glowing. And it tells him that there's cosmic peril with the Venture family and all that crap. And he's like, it's not like you care, though. Alchemist is like, oh yeah, no, I do care, because I am the alchemist, seeker of truth. And Dr. Orpheus is Dr. Orpheus, master necromancer. And JT Jefferson, he's still knocked out from the fucking nickel nips, apparently. And they're like, he's Blackula Hunter! And it shows off Noob doing thumbs ups. It then goes back to Dr. Girlfriend, who are doing the I do's. You can see Monarch is literally crying, tearing up from this event. He is so happy and to actually get to marry Dr. Girlfriend. It's really awesome how much he truly cares. But, of course, it gets cut off by Phantom Limb, being like, you have to give me my girlfriend or I'll destroy everyone inside. Cuts the episode to go to part 2 of this episode, which part 2 begins with a whole flashback part of all of that last episode. Literally shows the whole last episode just really fast forwarded and fucking just so funny. It shows everyone bailing from the cocoon, all the villains and stuff, except even Dr. Henry Killinger, except for Bowie and his 2 bodyguards and the Ventures for some reason. I don't know why, except I've kind of thought about this. Why did the Venture stay? So they got captured. They don't actually have the X-1 there. They don't have a plane or a way to get out. Unlike when they show all the different villains escaping, it's clear they have different fucking vehicles and shit. I even have, in the book here, it talks about how, like, they designed every one of these vehicles. Some of them are homages, obviously. Like, one of them's a fucking, obviously, from the Space Invaders picture. But other ones are, like, Tron-looking, the weird purple guy who goes walking with a floating 8-bit head. He doesn't have a name, he's just a weird computery guy. And they also have Tiny Eagle ship, which comes back later. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of interesting little bits here in this little quick showing of all these different vehicles that escape. Fucking Monarch is like, what kind of loser can't take a hint that he's been dumped? And just goes off on him. And Venom Limb, because Dr. Girlfriend also goes off on him, he is like, you are being irrational, such as the curse of your sex. I forgive you. Fuck you, Phantom Limb. I just want to be clear here. Fuck that blimey prick. Wow, bro. What a douche. There's even a point where Monarch's like, dude, she hates you. She's told me how much you have bad breath and all this crap. She hates you, dude. To get the fucking point. Even Rusty's like, this is between you, we can go, though. Then the two bodyguards, Iggy Pop and Klaus Nomi, attack. But Bowie steps in and is like, you traitorous bastards, I order you to stop. And they go off about how they've been working with him for 30 years. They throw like an air ball at him, and Bowie catches it, and then it pops, and apparently kills him right there. It's weird. Monarch is like, I got nothing to live for because he's checking Dr. Girlfriend and he thinks she's dead. And he goes on the attack, and he tells Brock to go attack the other guy, straight up giving him orders, and Brock follows through. I just want to point out how much Monarch has, like, very good relationship with Brock and the other Venture family members to be like, yeah, you go kick that guy's ass. And Brock's like, so you want that up your ass because this dude picked up a stick? Unfortunately for Brock, Monarch gets hit by this bow tie attack that flies him into Brock and knocks them both out. And so the two bodyguards kidnap Dr. Girlfriend. Now and then it goes to Dean, who is stuck in the injured room. He does a few calls, can't get anyone, panicking, freaking out. Apparently in his panic, though, he picks up this piece of metal and puts it on his finger like a ring. And in that moment, he turns into an imaginary world. Giant Boy Detective comes out, which looks like Billy Quizboy, and is like talking to him about how we're gonna go into a magical world with the princess, and then uses a flashlight to create a portal and everything. Then it goes to the Triad, who are getting in the X1, trying to get to the Venture family, apparently. Al's like, I'm in the kiddie seat, so I can't help you. Nub, though, it's fucking, because he's a pilot, puts in the coordinates and starts going. It's funny because they were talking about how they needed to go kill him if he was an abomination, but they aren't allowed to because he's not, made a dead body, so that's not allowed. And Al is like, I hope he didn't hear what I said about killing him. Goddamn. Goes back to Monarch, who wakes up and is like, we gotta get her back. We gotta save her. I'm coming, sweetie. Brock stops him and is like, asks him if he's crazy, but then he's like, scratch that. You're a lunatic. I already know that. There's an armada of guild wasps out there to spank our asses. This thing can fly, though, right? He basically works with the Monarch in a plan to get Dr. Girlfriend back. I've been wondering this as I've been watching this and writing the notes and thinking about it. Why is Brock invested? So first, he might have been invested because he's got knocked out. Second, as I said, I don't know if the Ventures have a way off this cocoon, so it's in their best interest to save the cocoon and survive. Next, he might just hate Lem because Lem's an asshole, and he did do all this shit and fuck shit up. Fourth, he is an OSI agent, and I don't know how much he knows about Bowie, but at the very least, he knows this was an obvious guild fuck-up move, and probably is in his best interest to work against someone who's against the guild at this point. But, truly, there is no reason for him to do this. It even shows Rusty, who's just eating a fucking food in the area, and he's just chilling around. Before that, though, there's like a whole part where he's like, minions! Because Brock's like, henchmen, let's do this. And he's like, whoa, 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 who's running the show? Minions! They like that better than henchmen. Battle stations! And they change the color, and Brock is like, magenta? That's your battle color? Eat a dick, Samson. Oh, and thank you. It's funny how Monarch is, like, grateful for what Brock is doing, obviously, but also clearly like, fuck you, man, I'm not taking your shit. Then it shows Dr. Girlfriend being brought back to Phantom Limb. He's all about how this is a part of the plan and shit. And he does a fucking weird-ass speech about slip off that tacky white lie and get on your Queen Etheria costume, this, slutty outfit, and take your rightful place by my side. And Dr. Girlfriend, rightly so, is like, is everyone delusional today? She had to deal with Rusty being a stupid fuck. Lim, who's not getting the picture. Everyone's not getting that she's getting married to the Monarch, you fucking morons. Jesus, get the fucking point. I get it, she's the hottest piece of ass in supervillainy, but what the hell, guys? Get the fucking point. Dr. Girlfriend is like, you're gonna get in trouble for this, basically. And the two bodyguards start snickering about it, and she's like, the fuck are they laughing about? And Phantom Limb explains that I've given myself a promotion. And then he tells the strangers, specifically calling them strangers, to attack. Clearly leading to people to believe that he just performed some kind of coup d'etat and is obviously trying to usurp power of some kind. Then it shows they get the engine on. Monarch is like, he says a line here that I'm uncertain about. I think he says fuck or fly or march or I'm not uncertain. But he says something and they start flying and it shows the cocoon, which I think is still in the Grand Canyon. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's not moved since season 1's beginning of in Are You There, God? It's Me, Dean, when it's first revealed. So they're fighting in the Grand Canyon. In fact, now that I think about it, yeah, it's a, like, you can look up Cremation Creek Grand Canyon. It's just a fucking part of the Colorado River area of the Grand Canyon in Arizona. So they're obviously fighting in the Grand Canyon. I fucking never occurs to me. So as they're flying around, getting chased by these strangers, fucking Rusty's like, so it's a cocoon that flies. Yeah, that makes no sense. I'm a butterfly guy, cocoon. Yeah, why don't you make it just like a butterfly? Because that's gay. Monarch, just laying it flat, just like, it's girly, bro. It's not how I roll, bruh. It's just not how it works in this world. Then goes to 24 talking to the Monarch crew, asking how many of them are suicidal, and a lot of them put their hands up, and he's like, a lot of you. How many of you like cheese? And then 21 comes in and is like, alright, you give your new commander as much respect you were supposed to give 24. The new commander's Brock. He goes off about how I beat on you and a lot in the past, but then they all freak out and like, I forgive you, Brock Sampson. I was asking for it, Brock Sampson. It's okay, Brock Sampson. But even you in a swarm can be more dangerous. Today you're graduating from Big Boy Town. Now you're our murder flies. We fly for Phantom Limb's command ship. We can't do that. Why not? We don't have anything that flies. You guys got wings. These don't really... Oh, I guess they work. Apparently no one ever told them in the years they've worked here that these wings work as actual flying wings. So funny. I'll point out, I don't know if they use... Yeah, they do. I think they do use that a few times later on, but not as much as they do here, where this is a total aerial battle. Complete air combat. Hank wants in on the danger, but Brock denies him and tells him to go find his brother. Which, it then flows into where Dean is, and he's hallucinating, and he's with Pete and Billy. Pete's going off about how, like, show me the freaking warrior, and he makes a judgment on him about how it's a little crybaby. Dr. Venture, Rusty, starts talking, and who looks like a rat. A weird way that Dean perceives his father. And basically tells him that he's a crybaby and a little wussy. And Dean's like, but I have the ring of power. And they're like, your princess is so screwed. There's a princess? Oh yeah, she's super cute too. Dean, while all this is going on, you're just having a good time hallucinating. Then it goes to Brock throwing the henchman off the plane and be like, go, go, go. And then it stops Hank, who has his beard on, and is like, I'm Russian Guyovich. I came from Russian exchange. We took a hell of a time to come over. See you on the other side, comrade. And as he pushes him off, he starts saying, fuck. And then it cuts a commercial and comes back. And he does the like, so perfectly well done to get that fuck in. And then he gets fucking Brock catches him. It's like, you'll survive this, soldier. And he realizes it's Hank. He's like, damn it, Hank. And we're gonna have to fucking figure this out later. And he starts talking to the henchman. And he's like, don't clump up like a Sunday sausage machine. And you have to fire and fall back. Fire and fall back. So perfect. It's a great battle. I love the feeling of like the scale of this fight gives you of how Monarch being chased by the villain, Phantom Limb, but they go in to do an attack to counter this and try to just defeat Phantom Limb and the whole goal of the Monarch crew side is to get Dr. Girlfriend back. Their goal is to get back an ally, while the enemy side is to destroy the cocoon. It is a fun little event that truly has high stakes and also like is uncertain. Even with Brock Samson on their side, that does not necessarily mean that the Monarch crew is going to defeat Lim. Lim had apparently the full fucking fledged resources of the guild on his back. Goes to Lim, who the Iggy Pop guy is like, I'm a street walking cheetah with a heart full of napalm. Give him danger, man. Let me at him. I need you here to protect my queen. And he calls him Sovereign. And Dr. Girlfriend's like, you can't be the Sovereign. I've seen him chew you out all the time. And Phantom Limb is basically like, I gave myself a promotion. You saw it. And she's like, what the hell? Oh, Bowie. He was the Sovereign? And fucking Lim's such an asshole. Give the girl a prize. Yeah, she's intelligent, you fucking prick. God, dude. Anyways, so Bowie was the Sovereign. As everyone probably already knew, because they probably already spoiled it. But a fun little bit of the series in showing us that his powers. Lim even says, you didn't think this was really all about you, did you, girl? Fucking hate him. God. Even if he's like, whatever, I hate him. Then the Iggy Pop guy is trying to smoke a cigarette and fucking, with that pack he got, by the way, he picked up a pack of cigarettes in the Monarch's wedding chapel right after he killed Bowie. But Lem's like, the smoking outside, get the hell out of here. Yeah, dude, smoke outside. Don't just smoke inside this fucking, we're in an air chamber. Fuck you, dick. Then it shows that 21 is having trouble flying because he's just a little too fat and he's having trouble getting altitude. 24 is like, I need you. My squad's mostly on fire. And fucking 21, what was that? You guys got caught in that jet plane? No, that's an urban myth. How the hell do you start an urban myth with flying guys in the Grand Canyon? So true. Goes to Iggy Pop guy. He's like, it's cold outside, going to smoke. Oh, the cigarette has David Bowie's face on it. Hello, I'm David Bowie. Make way for the Homo Superior. Punches that guy and fucks him up. So funny. Goes to a Monarch crew member who is bleeding and gets caught by Brock. And that guy, this dude gives a speech about how it's wicked bad out there, sir. These last few minutes have been the proudest of my career. And he straight up dies, and Brock throws the body into a jet plane engine to destroy the plane. And fucking savagely, he tells Hank, what are you waiting for, soldier? There's bogeys on your 10 and 2. Take him out. I mean, if you're going to be here, Hank, you're going to have to get your shit together. Hank does a shot that like bounces off a henchman's head and then hits a rock and then destroys all the bogeys using the rock, which Brock is like, fucking great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. Henchmen, we're heading on to the command ship now. Then it goes back to Dean. Dean's dreaming and he finds Monarch, who's like doing a weird ass turning these orphans to gain power. And Dean goes in to attack him and he's like, you can't get me unless you take my black heart. And then fucking Dean like cuts everything but the heart, and the Monarch creature's like, you're trying to fucking killing everything but the heart. Those are reproductive organs. Just take the hands and stab me in the heart already. And Dean's like, oh, so your black heart gives you your power. Oh, you have bested me. And he kills the fucking thing. The Monarch creature absorbs it using his ring of power. And then he's like, go, orphans, be free. And he starts attacking like the power source. And maybe you have your own room where you won't have to have costume guys attacking you all the time. Showing Dean's problems and how much he really does not like the life he lives, honestly. It then cuts to the Monarch and Rusty, and the engine has died. Monarch crew member is like, it has no go. Well, go check it out. It's spooky down there. I ain't going there. Apparently that's why no one's in the engine room or checking on it. Fucking Rusty's like, you pay these people? You wanna see my escape cocoon? Let's get the hell out of here. Wanna point out, despite everything, Monarch is gonna get Rusty out. He will not let Rusty die here. He was totally chill with letting all these other Monarch crew members, granted they're incompetent fucking failures, but based upon what we just saw with that display, but still, letting them die, doesn't care. Gonna save Rusty instead. It then goes back to Bowie, who is coming down as Iggy Pop. Klaus chose to do a Banshee stream, because that's his power, by the way. But he gets his mouth covered up and he just fucking explodes and dies. They also showed a little part, by the way, earlier, where, like, it had Iggy Pop, like, holding himself up, but then he falls down fucking suddenly. And after the guy Klaus pops, though, Lim's like, Bowie, that's sovereign to you, and have at thee. And they start fighting each other and shit. It's fucking crazy funny and really cool, because he transforms in, like, Iggy, Klaus, and then Brock Samson, all in them, like, quickly. And fucking Hank's, like, watching it from outside. He's like, it's like Dracula versus Yoda in there. And Brock's like, you had the bolt cutters. And 21 explains that I had to even take off my shoes. I took everything off. Right. And 24's like, the man panicked. He panicked. I want to point out that it's 21 and 24 who are here at this command station. Brock, Hank, 21, 24 are the ones who got to Lim. They're the only ones capable of doing so. The X1 comes flying in, fucking makes them go start flying and doing turns. They're like, oh god, we're gonna crash. And they crash into the fucking cocoon, because it shows Dean, who's getting, like, basically making out with the princess at the end and having the victory. And then the never-ending story dragon comes out of nowhere. Apparently it's the plane, which the cocoon's apparently big enough to take a hit from the plane and not just annihilate itself. It can just starts crashing, basically. Al's like, that guy we summoned, he's all over the windshield. And Orpheus is like, I've never flown an experimental jet. I'm a magic guy. Magic, not an experimental jet guy. Fucking Dean is like, I'm gonna go ride that dragon, and starts riding the plane. And Al is like, I'm not gonna touch him because he's crazier than usual. It then shows the escape pod and Phantom Lim's ship flipping towards each other and spinning and then crashing into each other and exploding in a tirade of craziness. 21 and 24 survive because their wings apparently have, like, life jacket stuff kind of shit. And 21 laments about how nobody tells me anything. Brock saves Hank, making sure he doesn't die. He's like, let's do this again. Monarch finds Bowie and is like, who looks like Dr. Girlfriend at the time, is like, thank you, Pookums. And, oh, Bowie, sorry. And then he finds Dr. Girlfriend, who he's like, oh my god, tell me you're not crippled, because that'd be so unfair to both of us. Monarch. But that moment where you have to be like, it's not be selfish, don't be selfish. But it would be a brutal moment. She was just pinned down, apparently, by Lim's leg, because apparently it blew off, and fucking Monarch's like, I'm gonna kick his limey face in with it. But he escaped somehow, and Bowie was like, probably some kind of secret escape hatch or some nonsense. Fucking Monarch laments about, like, great, now I have a new arch enemy. Bowie explains, though, like, I don't know, there won't be a quarter of the globe he can't find when I stick the diamond dogs on him. And, you know, strangers to kill, coup to quash, you know how it goes. Gotta go, and congratulations to both of you. Turns into an eagle and flies off, because he's a shapeshifter. 21 and 24 talk about how 24 is like, Changes is one of my favorite albums, and if you be a bigger poser, Changes is the best of. And then the Triad shows up and is like, we got Dean. Dean is safe. Rusty points out, Dean was missing. Nice drive, Brock. Nice job, Rusty. Fuck you. Because if I understand correctly, Brock's job is actually more to protect Rusty than the boys. He protects the boys out of, you know, a necessity because he's a bodyguard of the Venture family. But the reality is he's Rusty Venture's bodyguard. So, you know, fuck you, Rusty, for not finding your son or even thinking about him. Al is also like, finds like, I guess, a leg. I always thought it was a penis, but now that I've read the book, it's apparently his hand, although they're implying it's a penis. And Al pockets it and is like, I'm gonna keep this. It then does the credits, and then the after credits, Dean is flying up high, apparently still pretending he's in the never-ending story, but getting all cold because he's, up high in the fucking X1. They explain that he'll come down eventually. I want to point out, Al is really staring at Hank in this scene. I've always, when I was younger, I always thought he was like thinking Hank's really cute or some shit, but now that I've gotten older, I'm like, that'd be kind of weird because he's 16. Part of me thinks it's the whole he came out, or was kind of coming out during the episode that the Triad was involved in, the Fallen Arches. It's hard to say, though. Then it goes to Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend, who talk about how she's an insatiable woman and how that's one thing about married life we can say isn't wrong. And they talk about how they never said I do, but they never said I don't. And they're like, okay, I do. But then fucking Mrs. Dr. Girlfriend's like, Sheila, you've been rehearsing this. Monarch, and then it cuts off completely. It cuts off and then has Monarch say, what? And that's the end of season 2. That's how we finish this season, finish this episode. Brilliant season. Freaking amazing. They talk about how, what they ended up debating about what they're going to do with the way they cliffhangered it. They definitely cliffhangered it a lot differently than they cliffhangered in season 1. They didn't have as much questions to answer when they go into season 3, but they did have the main question of Monarch question. And this stuff with 21, 24 have proven themselves to be great. We've had an introduction of the showing of characters that will be used in season 3, like the Moppets, Sergeant Hatred. As I will spoil, though, they are going to have bigger roles as seasons progress. Even the Sovereign, now we know, is Bowie, and so Bowie will be a consistent character we get to talk to. And even Billy and White's part in this episode, despite not actually being in the episode, their little dream bit, fun, a really interesting thing. Although Dean's dream parts are definitely my least favorite part of this episode. They're not my personal favorites. I like Al and the Triad stuff. They're great. I like the discussions of whether or not chasing down the same villain is truly eventful or anything to these men, and whether or not it's actually rewarding to them. But they are still heroes, and they are saving the world and saving people from cosmic juju and problems. I also like the way that Brock works with the Monarch's crew here. I like how Monarch is so savage with Brock, despite it being Brock Samson, murderer extraordinaire. It's a very great episode that discuss with me in the comments. What do you think when you were first watching the show, or even if this is your first time? What do you think Dr. Girlfriend's talking about? Is she, now she's Dr. Mrs. the Monarch. Is she discussing something else, or something pregnant? What do you think of Dean's dream sequence? Did you like it or did you not? And what do you think about Hank's character development in this episode? He does some pretty cool shit in this episode, actually. And he gets to participate with Brock 21 and 24, proving himself greatly to that group. What do you think of Rusty and how he's an ass in this episode? Also really weird with Dr. Girlfriend. He doesn't even think about Dean till the end. Fucking Rusty is actually the least utilized character of the major characters in this episode. He is definitely just there to be an asshole, basically. To be like, yeah, I'm your arch nemesis and I'm around. But he's required. If you don't have Rusty, you don't have Brock. So you had to have Rusty Venture to be there. And and the whole Monarch being like, you want to see my escape cocoon and shit? It's interesting. It's interesting how, they are professionals and understand each other pretty well. Anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm about to hit that 1,000. Really loving it. I appreciate everyone who discussed this series with me. I'll see you in Season 3, Episode 1. It's called Shadowman 9 in the Cradle of Destiny. Beautiful episode. I'll see you guys there. This is Supreme Fuzzler. Goodbye.